Hey guys, Jacob here. It is currently June 9, 2020, and this is going to be this week's vendor reset. One thing I'm going to talk about before I get into some of the gear, someone asked me in my last vendor reset video if it's worth even buying the purples, and no, it's not. But if they do have a talent on them that you do not have or want, then obviously buy them and just add them to your stat library so you can add them to future gear. But with that over with, this week he is selling a Providence chest piece with Intimidate, has protection, skill, haste, and weapon damage with an empty offensive mod slot. Next is the offensive 3.1 critical hit chance, which is really low, so I would not recommend getting this one and try farming for a better one. 5.4 armor repair for the hollow point bullets for the drone, and the improved sticky payload for the sticky bomb. Next up is going to be the clan vendor. If you guys are not in a clan, you guys will not have access to this vendor, and you guys will not be able to buy all the goodies he's selling. So I'd highly recommend joining a clan. That way you have access to this and can buy stuff every week that's different. This week he's selling a Pyromaniac. This one's not, it's a little bit above average. It has 10% weapon damage, 14.5 health damage, and 7% critical hit damage. If you guys do not have this, I'd highly recommend picking it up, or if you want to farm for a better one, always do that. But he is selling it this week, so I'd buy it if you do not have it for the perfectly ignited talent. Next up is going to be the Striker Mask. It has 10.8 weapon damage and 6.6 explosive resistance. If you guys are not aware, Striker's getting a buff in the next update. You'll see weapon hits amplify total weapon damage by 0.5%, and then a new update, if I remember correctly, it's 0.65%. So if you guys do not have this, I would recommend buying it. That way you guys can collect all 4 pieces and test out Striker and see if you like it in TU10. Next up is going to be Hardwired with skill tier and weapon handling. Of course, use skill tier with skill builds, so you can pick this up and roll to whatever you want. Negotiator's chest piece, 11.9 weapon damage, skill haste, and an empty offensive mod slot. So if you guys are trying to make a Negotiator build, I'd highly recommend picking this up. SRS A1 with marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, and damaged armor with Satis. Hands PP19 with Satis, crit chance, SMG damage, and swap speed. Aquila Gloves with 121,000 armor, health, and crit hit damage. These ones aren't too bad if you're trying to make a armor style build. You can always change the health to critical hit chance if you're trying to make an armor regen crit build, or something else that's on the lines of defensive. X45 with Satis, crit damage, and pistol damage, which is almost max. LVOAC with Optimus, headshot damage, crit damage, and rifle damage. Also, as you guys know, they are buffing a few weapons in the new update, so if you guys want to test out the LVOA, last time I checked, it's getting a buff. Wyvern knee pads with status effect, armor generation, and skill tier. If you're trying to make a status effect style build, then I'd recommend picking this up, so that way you can run the 10% from the status effects and then get 8% on here. Also, you can make it higher and also use the armor regeneration if you want to try staying in cover, and that way you're constantly getting a little bit of armor back. Sokolov backpack with hazard protection, headshot damage, and weapon damage with unstoppable force. Defense system firearms for 6.2 headshot damage. Dielectric osimeters for the deflector damage for the shield. Defense Protocol Resilience for 15.8 incoming repairs, and also you guys are not aware they are changing incoming repairs and how they work in the next update. I will be making a video on that when the update comes out. And the Magnetic Disc for the 5.9 heals for the Seeker Mine. And that's going about it for the Base of Ops vendors. Alright guys, next up we have the Theater Settlement, and this week he is selling China Light knee pads with skill, haste, weapon handling, and skill tier. Defense System Mending for 14.3 incoming repairs. Ball bearings for the cluster mines for the Seekers, the microconduits for the speed for the Firefly, and that's going to be it for the Theater Settlement. Alright guys, next up we have the Campus Settlement, and this week she's selling a military RPK with damage to armor, damage to targets off cover, LMG damage, and killer. Next is going to be the Patriot Mask, which has 8% weapon damage, 8.7 critical hit damage, and 5.7 explosive resistance, and an empty offensive mod slot. Providence Holster, which has really low stats, 4.6 weapon damage, 7.4 critical hit damage, and 7.3 explosive resistance. Next is going to be the radar signal antennas for the damage for the Stinger Hive, or the Hive in general, my bad. And the silicone carbide coil for the radius for the pulse, and the trap electronics upgrade for the 4.5 duration. That's going to be about it for the Campus Settlement. Alright guys, next up is going to be the Dark Zones as usual, and we're starting off at DZ West. Also, I see this every time I do this. If you guys are new, just remember you'll have to get resources from the Dark Zone, and you can do stuff like by opening the little tiny boxes that are scattered around the map, and also deconstructing gear to get DZ resources. That way you can extract them and then buy stuff from this vendor. But this week he's selling a tactical SCSG 12K, shotgun with rate of fire, damage to armor, shotgun damage with preemptation on it, Negotiator's Gloves with headshot damage and weapon damage, True Patriot knee pads with 75,000 armor and 6.9 stats effects, Defense Protocol stamina 14.5 incoming repairs, Adaptive Insulator Foam for the active generation for the shield, and the guiding system for mag targets for the Firefly, and that's going to be it for DZ West. Alright guys, next up is going to be DZ South. This week she's selling a Police M4 with rate of fire, health damage, soluble damage, and vindictive, X45 sidearm with a ranger, magazine size pistol damage, ongoing directive backpacks, critical hit damage, weapon damage, empty utility mod slot, ongoing directive chest piece, sorry I cannot speak, and 6.5 weapon damage and skill damage. So if you guys are trying to make a hardwired build, I guess you could buy both these, but I have a feeling if you farm loot allocation gear sets, you probably can find way better pieces than this. Next is going to be Alp Summit, which has explosive delivery, stats effects, and repair skill. So if you guys are trying to make a skill style build and just try to find something that you can use for explosive, you could pick this up, but like I said, you guys can just farm the loot allocation areas and find something probably better. But if you're impatient and you want to buy something just to have this piece in slot of something, then I'd obviously pick it up. And after all, that's going to be pretty much about it for DZ South, because she's selling pretty much everything else as purples. Final stop is going to be DZ East. And this week she is selling a True Patriot mask, which has 42,000 armor with 7.3 explosive resistance. True Patriot holster with 87,000 armor with HP generation. Badger Tough mask, which has 84,000 armor, crit damage, and explosive resistance. And the Overload Armaments holster, which has crit damage, health, and weapon damage. Utility System Assist for skill duration. And the Nitroglycerin mixture for the repair charges if you're trying to make a repair style medic build or healer build. And the Heating Mantle for the effect duration for the pulse. And that's going to be about it for DZ East. Next up is going to be New York City. Guys, the final stop on the list is going to be New York. This week, the front desk vendor is selling a Gila backpack with 47,000 armor, weapon handling, repair skill, and vigilance. So if you guys need the vigilance talent, I'd recommend picking it up and adding it to your stat library. Next up is going to be Alp Summit knee pads, explosive resistance, headshot damage, and skill tier. Sokolov mask with weapon handling, repair skill, and weapon damage. Defense Protocol resilience for shock resistance. RDX pellet payload for the skill haste for the Seeker Mine. And the prior solution for the burn strength if you guys are trying to make a burn build with the Kim Launcher. And the decoy housing shell for the decoy. Paul Rhodes, and he is right here. Or my bad, Roy Benitez. He has a custom 870 MCS with fast hands, damage to armor, shotgun damage, and health damage. Alp Summit chest piece with skill haste, crit chance, and skill tier with reassigned. China Light Industries knee pads, weapon handling, health, and skill tier. Offensive system mod for 2.7 critical hit chance, which is lower than the one at the one in DC. And the spent material for the deflect damage for the shield. And the improved sticky launcher for the 3.7 blast radius. Overall, that's going to be this week's vendor reset. Hopefully when the next update comes around the corner, these vendors will be selling way better stuff, because at the moment, half their stock is purple, and it's pretty much completely useless. As always, thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys all later.